Okay, last time we looked at ax-llm. I had built this little guy called models, where we're using different models from our AI provider. We built up two different ax agents, and then I call the first one, get its result, send that result to the second one. And I had mentioned this was a little bit naive. It does work, but there is a better way to do it. So we're going to use something called flows. So I've got a new script here. I just copied in our models script, and I'm going to bring in flow from ax-llm. We're going to need to change a couple things here in our AI provider, but let's start with these guys. So here's our first agent, ASBN finder. I'm going to add to that our functions of tools right here at the end. And then our analyzer, we don't need to change anything there. And then we're only going to have one result. That's what we're going for. So let's see, we'll leave the performance measurements here. Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to start creating our first flow. So we're going to say const book flow equals flow. So we've instantiated our flow. And then the first thing we need to do is add our nodes. Now in our case, we've got an image analyzer. So we're just going to call it that, image analyzer. And we're just going to pass in our agent. And then our second one, we'll do our ISBN finder. So now our flow has two nodes, and now we need to tell it how to execute those nodes. And that's going to happen. We're just going to chain this right on with execute. We're going to tell it which one to execute. So our first one's going to be image analyzer. And then we're going to have a mapping function. And this allows us to track our state throughout the application. So it's going to take in state, and it's going to return the input for this node. So in our case, it's going to be the book, and that's going to be on the key of state book. Okay, so now we'll execute our second node, which is going to be our ISBN finder. And again, this is going to be the input for the ISBN finder, which is going to be the title and author that we got from the image analyzer. So this will be title. And the way we get that is with the name of the node. So state.name of the node result, and then the field, so title. And we'll take that, copy it, and we'll say author, and this will be author. And then when we're all done with that, we're going to have a returns method here. And again, that's going to take in state. It's just going to return all of our bits. So we've got title and author from our image analyzer results. And now we should have ISBN from our state.isbn finder result. Again, we just update the name there, add result.isbn. Okay, so mostly this is kind of going to work with one exception. We need to update how each of these nodes knows which AI to use or which model. And unfortunately, I haven't found a way to make this work precisely the same. So I'm going to split it into two AIs. And all I'm going to do is take the model from the models here and drop it into this one. And then we'll get rid of this models key. And then on this guy, let's see, so that's the GPT. So this one will be lava. And we'll drop all this. I'm going to give each of these a name. So this will be my tools AI, and this will be my images AI. And now on the execution of each of these nodes, so here we have this one, and I'm just going to put that on one line for now so we can see. So there's our mapping function, and after that, I'm going to have an options here with AI of images AI. And then on this one, after the mapping function, AI, tools, AI. Okay, and then down here, this is no longer image analyzer, it's book flow. And then here, it doesn't really matter which one we pass in, but we are required to pass one in. It'll get overwritten on each of the execution steps. So I think we're looking good. I probably messed something up, but let's just give this a run. So run flow, that's yes. Yep, something screwy there. So we don't need this model at the end of this line. Okay, one more time. We're not concerned about this ax flow deprecated. We're not actually using it. We are using the flow factory. And there we go. We have our results. It took a little longer than I would have liked. There are some options to maybe speed this up. I'm just going to try one right now. So this is auto parallel. We're going to set that to false. I don't know if that's actually going to improve anything in this case. These are pretty sequential, so I don't think it's attempting to run them in parallel, but it could be. So there's some options there when we configure the flow to tweak that, optimize it. Okay, so we got it quite a bit faster actually, so maybe that did help. Could also be some memory issues. Either way, we've taken our very naive, run this agent, take its results, give it to this agent, or very manual process, and turned it into a pretty well-structured flow. I mean, it's called a flow. So, and there's a lot of other options we can do in here. There's conditional things that we can do. There's all sorts of tracing and optimization. There's some performance stuff, some metrics and telemetry we can look at. But for now, this is a pretty straightforward flow that we created using multiple models from sort of the same AI provider. And it's much cleaner. It's easier to think about.